Hello, everyone. How's your weekend so far? As usual, this is the Ask Me Anything Sunday night show. Fundamentally, this is Jason, and what I do here is every Sunday night at 10 p.m., which is what we are at. This is 10 p.m. right now. We're gonna come here and really, just to chat anything about Facebook advertising. So you're free to ask any questions that you have. You can post in the comment section below. So because we're actually broadcasting on a few channels right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, just type away your questions. Same thing happens to your for those who are watching in the Facebook group. So very simple. Even if you're watching the replay right now, you can still post your questions in anywhere that you're actually seeing this, because I'm going to pick up the questions and I'm actually going to answer them in the future AMA sessions like this. So we've been doing this for this is episode 17, if I'm not mistaken. So can you imagine, as I everything first started was just an experiment. We wanted to really come in here and see whether we can help more people to advance in terms of Facebook advertising. To be frank, Facebook advertising is not as straightforward as it seems. To a lot of people, this is really something that is very complex. That's why when you are trying to become better at Facebook advertising, you face problems. And when you face challenges and all that, you really need to have a bouncing board. So what I'm actually trying to do here is, because you see, when we are looking at Facebook advertising related resources, a lot of them are from the Western countries and all that. And for the country that I'm active in, which is mainly the Southeast Asia regions, we kind of need our own community. And I think that's the main reason why we put together this thing. So if this is the first time we meet, my name is Jason. I'm your host today, of course, and this is not my only show. I have others like on every Wednesday night. I'll be also going live on my YouTube channel, as well as my my Facebook page, to talk about, we call this the Three Marketer Show. It started as an experiment between me and my two friends, like Manfred and Andrew. What we wanted to do here is we want to just come together and discuss one topic about digital marketing. So that part is wider. We have more things coming in. We have even a lot of guests. We have interviewed a lot of guests from different niches and different industry, right? It's really, really exciting because, like I said, we want to see whether we can bring together a community that can help each other grow in a very meaningful way. So that's the whole thing. So yeah, if this is the first time we meet, I'm so glad that you're here. And if you're watching this, say hi. If you're watching the replay and you have any questions regarding Facebook advertising, type away in the comment, and we're just going to do that. Now, I'm just going to dive into some of the questions that you have posted to me earlier. Remember, you can post your questions anytime, right? Whether you're watching the replay is fine. Just post it into the Facebook group, or share it in the what do we call on the comment everywhere that you're looking at this, right? So this is a question that I received from Edmund. Edmund asked this question in my Facebook group. So obviously, Edmund has enrolled into my program. So I can see that you're selling on Shopee. So your question is if it's still better to create two ads as you already gotten CPAS, because Shopee has all the data who are warm. Yes, meaning that, when you're using CPAS, for those who are new to Shopee selling or Lazada selling or all these e-commerce marketplace selling, CPAS is a very powerful tool that you should get when you are given the opportunity. Fundamentally, it's a catalog ads which allows you to retarget people who visited your Shopee store and yet to purchase. In fact, in most of the region that we're in, like Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, it's not as straightforward. You need to become either a preferred seller or a Shopee Mall sellers to actually get the access, to have the invitation to use that. However, when you have the opportunity, because the biggest challenge for marketplace selling, whether you're selling this on Shopee, Lazada, or Amazon, I think it's all the same. You are not able to capture people who visited your store, because fundamentally it's not your platform. You're not able to install your own Facebook pixel over there, and you're missing a lot of opportunities to do the retargeting. Because when it comes to Facebook advertising, we all know that it's very difficult to get the people to immediately see your ads, click on your ad, and immediately they want to buy from you. So we want to do retargeting, and retargeting is in fact one of the most powerful things that Facebook ads can offer. And when we are selling on e-commerce marketplaces like Shopee and Lazada, we won't be able to retarget people who visit our store because we can't. It's just simply not ours. But when you have CPAS, you're able to do that. But when it comes back to Edmund's question, your question is, since you already have CPAS and you're retargeting your warm audiences who visited your Shopee store, it is still necessary to run 2 ads. Now, my answer is yes. It is still important. Why? Because, okay, this is the 2-step funnel framework that I'm actually preaching right now. For all the time, everybody who knows me, I have a framework for Facebook advertising. I call it the 2-step funnel framework advertising, whereby we usually constantly have at least 2 ads running simultaneously, whereby tier 1 ad is what I call the cold audience targeting ad, whereby this is where we actually use these ads to really introduce ourselves to the people who are likely to be interested in our product or services. And then we want to bring them into our universe, you see. So when they see our ads, when they click, then when we capture the intent, we are able to run the tier 2 ad, which is the second advertisement, to retarget them. The retargeting is very important because this is where we will keep on reinforcing the key message or the call to action and to influence the audiences to make them buy. So Edmund, you're already running your CPAS, which is already retargeting people. But my question to you is, when you are not having a strong inflow of cold audiences into your Shopee store, your T2, which is your retargeting ads, is not going to work very effectively, because what is really important for this 2-step funnel framework to balance out is you need to constantly bring in strong inflow of your tier 1 audiences. So when you bring all these people in, when they actually see your ads and not purchase, then they will start seeing the second advertisement. So that's the 2-step funnel framework. You can actually Google, go to my YouTube channel and look for 2-step funnel framework. Or if you want to really learn how to build this thing, you can join my 6-day challenge. By the way, my 6-day challenge for March, we have already opened for enrollment. This is where I actually go live with you to teach you how do I build an effective Facebook ads campaign in 6 days time. So it's very simple. Monday to Saturday, we just completed one yesterday. So Monday to Saturday, every day, we will go live. I will go live to teach you one lesson for an hour. So after the 1 hour lesson, you'll be given homework. Now, once you have given homework, I will encourage you to do the homework, because whatever you do today is going to prepare you for tomorrow's lesson. So 6 days down the road, I promise you, I will not hold any secret. I'm just going to give you everything. And most importantly, it is priced at an insanely low price. Okay, for 6 days, guess how much should I be charging it for? It's only $9.99. Can you imagine that? So come over, just learn with me for 6 days and see how you can really do Facebook advertising in an entirely different way. So Edmund, the answer is you should still build a tier 1 ad so that you're able to bring in strong inflow of audiences for the 2-step funnel. And because when you don't have strong inflow coming into your funnel, your CPAS ad, your T2 ad is not going to work very effectively. But thanks for the question, Edmund. Right, let me come back to see this now. Okay, now. So basically, remember, the whole idea of 2-step funnel framework is to really run 2 ads simultaneously. And the reason why we want to do it simultaneously is because you just imagine the moment I see your first ad and I come down, immediately I should be seeing your next ad. So a lot of people have this misconception, meaning that, oh, when you say retargeting, meaning that when they see this ad, a few days later, I will run another ad. No, it's not like that. It has to be simultaneously. So it's a very technical thing. But when I actually break it down to you and see how I do the settings, and you'll be having this aha moment and say that, okay, it's actually very, very logical. So come over and learn with me. Okay, remember now, if you have any questions regarding Facebook advertising, you can post in the comment section, and I'll be actually answering them. I'll pull them up and answer them. But if you're watching the replay, you can also post your questions, which I'm going to pick up and I'm going to answer in the future AMA sessions. So we do this every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Remember, if this is the first time you see this, I encourage you to join us every week, because it's really exciting to actually learn from all the questions posted from. In fact, we are not only serving the region right now, we receive questions from all around the world. So like the other day, last week, I just had a quick chat with one of my students from Ecuador. I'm not sure whether this is the right pronunciation. It's very exciting. It's in South America. Very different scenario over there. So the best part of my job here is I get to learn with different people from all around the world. Oh, by the way, if this is the first time we meet, I've been running ads on Facebook for the past 11 years. Up to last year, in fact, now I'm still maintaining. I actually run a boutique Facebook advertising agency. where I work with people to really help them navigate success with their Facebook advertising campaign. So in the past many years, we have worked with over 200 over brands. And I started teaching and training about Facebook advertising since 2016. So up to now, I've learned with over 5,000 individuals from all around the world. So the beauty of it is whatever we're actually doing here is, instead of just doing it on our own, right? My opportunity is I get to learn from and with people from all around the world. Because every time I do my 6-day challenge, like for example, when we just wrap our 6-day challenge, it was our 10th session of 6-day challenge. The next one is going to be 11 session. So, I mean, people were asking me, Jason, aren't you feel bored about this thing? You keep doing the same thing over and over again. I would say no, actually. You see, the reason why it's not boring is because every round of 6-day challenge, I get to learn with people from different backgrounds where they are facing different challenges, and I'll be receiving different questions. And this is where we can actually learn from different scenarios and combinations altogether. It's really exciting. Come join me in the next one. Okay, now I have a question from Kevin on my YouTube channel. Okay, Kevin says he plans to run a message campaign. You have 3 different interest keywords in 3 creatives, 2 images, 1 video. How should I do testing to find out the best keyword and creative? Now, okay, first thing first, when it comes to keyword, I really want to help you understand that, when it comes to Facebook part, it's not keyword. We call it the detailed targeting. Now, when it comes to detailed targeting, you really have to understand it's not like keyword. Like for example, when you say digital marketing, I'm giving an example of one of the detailed targeting options in there. When you talk about digital marketing, you're actually referring to people who are interested in digital marketing, but not necessarily people who are looking for, and when you say keyword, this is very much, Google mindset, where people who are looking for digital marketing, not necessarily. If you have liked certain page which is related to digital marketing, or you have visited some website that is related to digital marketing, or you have watched some videos which is related to digital marketing, you come into this. So when it comes to detailed targeting, I have my own set of so-called mechanism of doing this. So what I would usually do is, instead of focus so much on the detailed targeting, why not you just try to draw out your customer persona? Like, let me give you an example. Like there was a time where a property developer came to talk to me and say that, Jason, I know I'm marketing, this $2 million ringgit property. I know I need to target those people who are interested in, you help me target people who are interested in Porsche, Maserati, Ferrari, Gucci, Prada, and all that, because these are the people who might be my customer. And I was telling him, look, with all due respect, my friend, I like Porsche, Maserati, Ferrari. I like all these pages because I'm into cars. But, does that make me able to afford one? You see, this is really a very important mindset that you need to wrap around. So when it comes to Facebook advertising, we're actually looking at 3 main pillars that what makes a good Facebook ads, which is, first, it has to be able to send the right message, okay, to the right people to get the right action. So you have these 3 things in the element, but my question is, I do not know what you're doing. That's why I'm only able to just pick up the question and give you. But fundamentally, you need to have a very deep understanding regarding these 3 aspects, so that you're able to have a very good idea about what is going on, what are the combinations that you choose, and what should you do. You see, I wouldn't be able to tell you that, do you do this A/B split test first? Because the moment you have 2 images and 1 video, fundamentally you have 3 creatives in here, and then you need to actually maybe you need to start with the split test first before you test the audience. If you really want to do this in a proper way, then after that, once you have a winning creative, then you test your audience, which you might need to go through multiple tests. But fundamentally, the 3 main pillars is the thing that you need to follow. All right, but thanks for the question, Kevin. Now, another question coming from the Gamer Scroll. Hi again. Okay, you're following up on Kevin's question. So does it mean that tofu concept doesn't really matter to Facebook? Top of funnel. I mean tofu, right? Tofu, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel kind of thing. Matters. It matters. Okay. But I would say when it comes to Facebook advertising, when we go for the top of funnel, we should, like I agree with you, we should go for immediate action. Because the beauty of Facebook advertising is that instead of going for a very complex routing in terms of nurturing and all that, when it comes to Facebook advertising, I would say it is the more beneficial to go direct. Like, for example, let me give you an example. Okay. If you want to get people to sign up to a course, some people would like to build a very kind of like, long journey where, oh, you want to run an advertisement to show them a video first, which is your tofu. All right. Top of funnel. All right. Then after that, after they watch the video, then you will show them the next video, and then only you nurture them to the next one. But in my opinion, I would say if you're selling this, you might as well tell them what you want to sell. So that will come back to the creative. In the 6-day challenge, I spent 1 full day, which is an hour training, going through 30 over examples of an advertisement that I picked up, and I will share with you exactly what did they did right, what did they do wrongly. So you need to actually kind of go through all this. So fundamentally, you should direct sell, but instead you want to focus on 2 things when it comes to Facebook ads. What is in for me, meaning that what is in for me, and what do you want me to do? So clarity is very important, because it's not like Google advertising and other form of advertising. When it comes to social media, especially Facebook and Instagram advertising, because it's a social network. So the attention span of human being on the social network is really, really short. Instead of trying to beat around the bush, I would rather you just go straight to the point. But you don't want to be too intrusive until you annoy these people. That's why you got to strike a balance. But yeah, I would say you should straight away go for selling, but you need to actually master the art of it. But I know what you are actually, you definitely know that if you're running ads on Facebook, you probably have your own method. But yes, that's right. You still need to focus on the tofu, meat, mofu, and whatnot, right? But you should go for action instead. I'll agree to that. But thanks for the question. Okay. Yeah. Kevin was saying you agree with the idea, exactly. So when it comes to the keyword per se, when it comes to Facebook advertising, that's why I always try to bring people away from the Google mindset, which is the keyword per se, because it's definitely not the way. So the way Facebook categorizes people within the, let's say, a detailed targeting selection is definitely different, because on Google, when you say keyword, it's definitely damn keyword. Why? Because people do go there and key in that thing. That indicates for a very strong intent. But when it comes to Facebook, it's a different ballgame. That's why when it comes to detailed targeting, I have a framework, but I won't be able to just give you all this. I need to go through the process of, okay, what is the thinking process? What are we doing? And this kind of thing. But it's not the only thing. A lot of people glorify the detailed targeting, or so-called a keyword. But when it comes to Facebook advertising, there are many other ways of finding your right audience. Like one of the technique that I use is, I actually use just location targeting. But of course, we have a technique that will really zoom into the people who are likely to be interested. So combining detailed targeting and location targeting and a few other combinations, that will help you master targeting in a better way. Yeah. But thanks, Kevin. Thanks for adding in to the question. Now, I think I have another question over here. Let me bring this up. Okay. Yeah, guys, if you have more questions, type away. We still have about 12 minutes. So I think we can do this. Okay, now, this is what we have. That's Edmund's question. Now, this is a question that I received from my community. So it says, because when it comes to Facebook advertising metric analysis, as in when it comes to Facebook Ads Manager, there are tons of metrics. But a lot of people will have different school of thought in terms of what kind of metrics that you want to monitor. But one of the key metrics that I monitor is CTR, which is click-through rate. So basically, we have two types of CTR, fundamentally, 2 types. One is CTR all. All means, because when it comes to Facebook advertising, there are many things that you can click, right? So you can click on the like button, you can click on the image, you can click on the video, you can click on comment, there are many things to click. So your CTR all means your advertisement is getting actions. Now, the other CTR is CTR link click-through, which is fundamentally on the call to action. So my indicator of, at least a stable campaign is your CTR all should be at least above 2. Meaning that at least, it's kind of like at least people are interested in playing the video or whatnot, right? And your CTR link click-through, my benchmark is 1%. So if you have relatively lower both CTR, then that could be an early indicator that your advertisement itself, your creative is not getting interest among the audience. So you see, like I say, there are 3 main pillars that makes a good Facebook ads, right? So it has to be able to send the right message to the right people to get the right action. So the right people, I will assume that you really know who are the people that you need to target in order to get the right people into the funnel, because I assume that you have been doing your business for a while. So this is no question. And I assume that you understand how to choose the right objective, meaning that when it comes to Facebook ads, there are 11 objectives, right? So We all know that traffic and conversion are totally different things, and engagement and video view are doing different things. So you need to understand this part, which during my 6-day challenge also, I will spend 1 day to talk about this. So if you understand your objective and you understand your audiences, I would say that then it could be an early indicator that your creative is not working. So you need to investigate. You need to tell me that, are you confident on these two? If you are, then let's look at improving your creative. When we are doing improvisation or optimization of a campaign, we optimize one variable at a time. Usually we don't do like, I change the creative at the same time I change the audience, because that would not be able to give you the hypothesis whether is that the right factor that is affecting the effectiveness of the campaign. That's why, yeah. So, but thanks for the question. For this, I would say, first thing, investigate if your audience targeting and your objective is the correct one. Is this the optimize the right action that you should be targeting and the right people that you should be targeting? Then if everything is good, then we start investigating from the creative, which we will tweak, or we will just use another one to test. And when we test, of course, we have another way of optimizing whether how long do we observe and all that, right? But anyway, that's where we start. Creative first. You should start looking at your creative. Okay, thanks for the question. It's very exciting. Thank you so much. Okay, hi Shiro. I would say it should be Shiro. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me. All right, so would you recommend using Facebook ads for B2B companies? Good question. Now, when it comes to Facebook advertising, like I think several weeks ago, I'm not sure whether it's Gamers Grow or somebody else asked me a question. Can you sell anything on Facebook? My answer is no. To be frank, you are not able to sell anything on Facebook, because like for certain businesses, it's very difficult to find top of funnel audiences, which is your cold audiences on Facebook. Like I always like to give you this example, right? Many years ago, not many years though, but anyway, it was the time where we were working with a precision machinery company, whereby they do all these, super crafted, precisely made nuts, bolt, or kind of thing for, a part of, it's like a part of a machine. So for this kind of company, it's purely B2B. They can't really go to Facebook and look for the purchasers, because for their way, of course, everybody would have their own way to find the right audience to prospect. So for their way, they need to find the purchaser of the machinery company. So they need to go through and find the right people. So when it comes to Facebook, it's very difficult, because Facebook is very much on the social network. So it won't be able to give you the ability to pinpoint. So what we did was we used a combination of top of funnel. Like for example, we used two things. We used linking ads. When you know the LinkedIn ads, one of the very key features is it allows you to send message to the right people. So you can even pinpoint to the position. So we want to go for certain companies. We want to go for the certain position. So we send the right message to them. Now, the other one is we go for Google advertising, whereby we buy specific keywords in, of course, the countries and all this kind of thing, which is another part. Now, we don't handle LinkedIn advertising and Google advertising. We work with other agencies. So we use this to actually really find the top of funnel people, where it's in the co-audience to come in. So when we find the right people will take the next action, which is to click, correct? So when they click, they will come to the landing page. So when they come to the landing page, then Facebook will come into play. I will use Facebook to do retargeting, whereby I will actually use Facebook to retarget those people who visit. So by that case, right, I don't care where you come in. As long as I bring the right people into my funnel, I will use Facebook as my retargeting, which is my tier 2. So it's a cross-platform, thing. I will have multiple channels coming into play. So that's what I do. So back to your question, would you recommend using Facebook ads for B2B? My question is, if your people is hardly, you can't really pinpoint your people as in like your fresh audience on Facebook, you don't use it as the top of funnel. But then again, you should use it as the bottom of, the middle of funnel, which is the retargeting part of it. So my answer is still yes. You still need to use Facebook, because in my opinion, it's the best retargeting, because I don't care, even you're a purchaser for a machinery company or whatnot, right? You definitely will still have at least a Facebook account or an Instagram account. So all I want is just when you do something because of other channel, I want to use these social media platforms to keep coming back and hunt you down. That's the thing. Okay, but Shiro, thanks for the question. Thanks for the question. Okay, now next question, Kevin. Okay, now how long should you run split tests? Now my framework is you run split tests for enough budget. Yeah, I think 3 to 7 days is fine. I will agree to that. And then after that, you need to look at the. I would say when you run split tests, you need to understand when you run split tests, you are setting it up as a split test. And if you understand split test correctly, when you run split test for 3 days, you set aside a budget. You should actually let your split test complete, because by the time it completes, right, Facebook would then give you which one an analysis, which one is the winning campaign, and they will give you a percentage. Usually when you run split tests, you should conclude that your split test is successful when you have a clear winner. And based on Facebook Blueprint data, when I say clear winner, that means that it has to be at least 75%, confident that Facebook is gonna able to achieve the same result when you continue running this campaign. So that's the proper split test. So when you run split test in the proper way, we are not looking at the impressions and whatnot. So basically, yeah, you should actually look for it. So you need to spend enough money that is able to get not just impression or reach. You should be also focusing on the result, because that's how split tests work. Okay. Now, I won't be able to just give you a very clear example of what split test is all about. But yeah, I would say 3 to 7 days is fine. But you need to really use the right split test, because that will give you a different kind of metrics, which is the confidence level. All right. Thanks, Kevin. Okay, Gamers Grow. By the way, Zero, no problem. Thank you. And the Gamers Grow is asking, is there any advantage to be publishing a video on YouTube instead of Facebook? For me, right, you mean? What do I understood? Facebook is trying to build up their video section to viral YouTube. Okay, good question, good discussion. But if you're asking me from my experience, right, I focus on YouTube because my content has long-term searchability, and the searchability, or so-called the ability to get found, benefits me a lot compared to Facebook. Facebook video has the very so-called, in a way, unless if you're doing something that you have following, like my Tree Marketer show on YouTube, on Facebook has good views and good completion rate. But when it comes to basically, but Facebook and Instagram has one problem, which is their content are instant. Their content doesn't have a very doesn't have the longevity, meaning that it may become there for a while. The moment it start being stacked up and all that, it will actually sink, and it doesn't help long-term visibility. And to be frank, Facebook do not have a very strong mechanism to help surface content, whereby on YouTube is a different ballgame. You know that when you go to YouTube, the behavior is also different, because the moment you look for a video, like for example, I'm not sure how you came to me, but usually a lot of you actually came through YouTube. So when you were looking for something, you found me. So when you see a video of mine, right, you might start looking at other videos or even other people's videos. So it actually has this kind of like ability to help surface relevant content, or even to help discovery. So for my content, definitely I would say YouTube has got a longer longevity for me, and it will actually benefit my business in the longer term. That's why I would definitely prefer to publish my videos on YouTube instead of Facebook. I don't publish my videos on Facebook. I only do my live sessions on Facebook. So that's why you got to really understand. But I believe this is really depending on when you're doing this kind of channel thing. How do you want to really balance up? How do you want to actually find a right combination for your business, and something that you can actually maintain for long term? To be frank, it also took us a while. It took me a while to, at first when I created a Facebook group, right, I wanted to do something differently. I went live and all that, but after learning and all this, I realized that this is my best combination. But of course, I might study and learn, and I might optimize again. I might change the format, but fundamentally, the reason why I publish my videos on YouTube is because of the searchability. I think that's the answer to that question. But thanks for the question, the Gamers Grow. Right. Okay, I think that's pretty much all about it. And yeah, it's kind of like coming to the end of the session already. But thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for joining me. I can see a lot of you are actually watching from YouTube, and some of you are actually watching it on my Facebook group. But regardless, if you have any questions regarding Facebook advertising, feel free to post in the comment, and I'll be picking them up and I'll answer in the future AMA session. So we do this every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Okay, so we're going to come over here and answer your questions. So that's how we do that. And if you want to learn with me, remember my next 6-day challenge has opened for enrollment with just $9.99. You get to learn with me live for 6 days, where I teach you how to build your Facebook ads using my 2-step funnel framework. So go to my website, tribeupacademy.com, look for the 6-day challenge in the menu bar, and you'll find that. Okay, now just one more question from Ricky. What do you prefer in leads generation campaign in Facebook? Use similar audience or remarketing audience by video view. Like I said, I would straight away go for, if you have similar audience, then you can use the lookalike audience. I would say lookalike audience, usually if you have high quality lookalike audience, then you're able to really get a very high, better result right away. But if you have low quality lookalike, like for example, in my opinion, lookalike audience of people who like your Facebook page is, unless your Facebook page is really strong and powerful and you build it in a very organic way, then yes. But if not, no. Versus lookalike audience of people who bought from you before, then of course I will go for the bought from you before. So when you want to do lead generation, you should immediately go for, you need to bring in the retargeting, because same thing, if you're setting up a video first, then you retarget those people who watch the video. I think this is kind of the thing that overkill. Same question to the Gamer Scroll asked, when you run ads on Facebook, you should straight away go for the action. So you should straight away go for lead gen. But what you need to do is you need to actually look for the right audience. So if you're only retargeting people who watch your video, the audience is going to be very small, unless, and video view may not mean anything, to be frank, on Facebook. It's a different ballgame compared to YouTube. So that's what I think. But thanks for the question, Ricky. Thank you so much. And I think that's it. That's all we have for today. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And I enjoyed this session. I hope you do. So next week, same time, 10 p.m., we're going to come live here again. And remember, any questions, whether you are watching the replay as well and anything, post in a comment. And I'll see you next week. Thank you. Enjoy your weekend. It's Monday tomorrow, so have a good one. Thanks. Bye.